This photo resonated with me as this is exactly how I felt going to hospital appointments. All the anxiety rushing around in my head made everything go around me funny. My mum speaking to me in the car felt like alien words, and I couldn't get my eyes in order to see the roads. I felt a rush of fear and adrenaline hit my body, and until I left the appointment room, I never felt free. I hated feeling this way and could never not be like this before appointments. I remember seeing cars and buses go by on the roads, but all I could focus on was the hospital.
Allow us to ask questions, but also, you ask questions too. Get to know us.
We might all have a similar face, but we all have a different perspective. We want to share our perspectives to educate and inform, so it's your job to listen.
Sometimes with a cleft, it's easy to feel as though everyone will notice that you look visibly different. But in reality, everyone is so different in some way or another. Some are just more visible than others. This photo shows so many different people from a distance, and from here, you can't assume anything about anyone, and you can barely even see their faces. Everyone has a different story, but this is ours.
Make an effort to understand our perspective. Ultimately, they are our lives. Perspective is everything. My perspective on my journey is different to the perspective of my family, friends, colleagues and clinicians. These shadows represent that for me. The light shines through and showcases the best parts, drawing attention to the positives and overshadowing those dark surrounding negatives. The darkness is still there, and it never really fades, but at times the light will change how evident the dark is, and it's focusing on that light that helps me be proud of my journey, rather than dwell on the negatives.
Parents should be offered help too, as they are also on this journey.
We have lives outside of our cleft treatment, and you need to remember this. Why not ask us questions about what's going on in our lives? It's important to us that you recognise our lives are important.
Our treatment affects so many different areas of our lives, like the quality of our schoolwork and relationships, so this needs to be acknowledged. Earlier this year, I was discharged from my cleft team at Great Ormond Street Hospital. A lot of people thought I'd be happy to be free, but it was actually a day I'd been dreading for years. The hospital became a special place for me and my parents. The staff had been part of my life as long as I could remember, and they've all seen me grow up. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I'd never go back there for another appointment or operation again. A huge chapter of my life was coming to an end. We took lots of pictures and said goodbye to the team, and I thanked them for everything. It was a very emotional but special day.
We need support during the aftermath of our treatment, not just during it.
Our cleft journey is as much of mental change as is physical. We need more psychological support alongside our treatments.
Acknowledge our individual journeys.
A cleft journey is not just about the cleft affected person, it is also about their family and friends, and you need to remember this when we're at your clinics.
I personally think that this is how everyone's minds looked like, filled with mixed thoughts, when they found out that I had a cleft. The journey through it all was only possible with the support from family and friends. This goes to show that a cleft journey can sometimes be a chaos and confusing, which is where I think cleft clinics and clinicians need to step in to guide individuals and families through this overwhelming journey.
All our lives we've been a work in progress, and then one day we're told we're as good as we're going to get and left to live the rest of our life. We need more support as this chapter of our journey comes to an end.
Help us to raise awareness of our perspectives.
Every year I look forward to the first Friday of October since it is World Smile Day. I see it as a day to celebrate the beauty and uniqueness in every smile. Mine has been through a lot to be where it is now. It's changed a lot over the years, but I love every version because it tells my story. This picture is what I posted on Instagram in celebration.
Our journey isn't just physical, it's mental too.
Raising awareness is not just our responsibility.
One thing I love about having a cleft is that I know that there are people who I can call for help. Just having that knowledge has allowed me to feel better about myself because it means that if I need help, I can receive it effortlessly.
This photo was taken just the other day at a family wedding. I want clinicians to remember that we are humans with lives and families and friends, and we want to enjoy that life. I also want them to know that they can actually treat us as humans, which I think a few of them need reminding of sometimes. They can get carried away with the possibilities for surgery and forget that we are people with ambitions beyond cleft surgery. We want more for our lives and for ourselves. It can sometimes feel like the journey is never ending and that there is always another appointment. If I could say one thing to my surgeon today, it would be a simple hello. We always walk in and get straight into the appointment, ask a little bit about my life, but it never felt like they wanted to know more. It felt like a formality before the appointment. We are strong, powerful, and resilient, thanks to our family and friends. It's your job to help us too.